Welcome to our bonus video for June. This month we're going to talk about how to hold a side handle pot. Fortunately, in our experience, people really only hold side handle pots two ways. And we find one way to be more traditional and more correct, and then there is a more modern way that some people have started holding side handle pots that actually isn't as good for preparing tea. So there isn't a lot to correct in this bonus video other than correcting that mistake. The traditional way to hold the side handle pot is with these three fingers here and the thumb curling around and the index finger goes on the button like so. Now we see that some people in modern times especially have started holding the side handle pot by putting their hand around it like this and then putting the thumb onto the button. The problem with this is that every time you pour, you're always pouring towards yourself and the butt of your pot is always going up towards your guests and the tea is always flowing in towards yourself, which energetically feels a little bit off. And traditionally, it would be better to pour the tea this way than this way. Of course, the main reason for holding the pot with your index finger on the button is that you have way more control. In this way, I can actually turn the pot this way, I can pour around the bowl, I can go around the bowl this way, I can go back. When I'm using my thumb, I actually can't go back. I can actually only go one direction, and my control is much more limited this way than it is using my index finger on the button, in which case I can go around both directions. I have much more fluidity, much more control over the duration of the flow, the strength of the flow, and where in the bowl that I'm actually putting the tea. So I have much more control using my index finger than using my thumb. When putting the thumb on the side handle pot like this, it really feels like there's only just on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. When I put my index finger on the button like this, it really feels like I have a lot more control over the pot. Like I can control the flow, so I can pour just a little bit of liquor out if I want, or I can pour more strong, or I can pour on the edge of the pot. I can roll back this way, I can roll that way. It really feels like I have a lot more control over where I'm pouring. I can both go in a circle this way, and I can go in a circle this way, to the outside, to the inside. I can come back this way, I can go this way, and I feel like I have a lot more control. This feels like a lot more fluid, a lot more Tai Chi. It feels a lot more connected to my body and a lot more smooth. When I hold the pot like this, it is more like a hinge. It's more like it can just swing in this direction. I have a lot less circular control, and it feels a lot less connected to my arm. It's pinching. It feels like there's a pinch in my wrist. So if you have a big pot like this, it especially becomes apparent that when you hold it like this, there's a pinch right here in the wrist and the chi cuts off. Whereas when I hold it like this, I can hold it for a longer period of time and much more smoothly. And if you're watching, you can actually probably see that this is much more smooth than this is. As with all the practical advice that we give in these videos, it's really important that you experiment for yourself, that you learn for yourself, that you try holding the side handle pot with your thumb on the button and try holding it with your index finger on the button and pouring with water and tea both to feel the fluency, to feel the control. Do you really have more control with your index finger, like I said? Are you really able to control the pour more? Are you more flexible? Is your arm more open? Is the energy flowing better? And how does that feel? Feel that openness, feel that fluidity, feel that looseness, and feel the difference that it makes on the tea when you actually drink the tea, most importantly. And as you do these experiments, please also bear in mind that love is changing the world bowl by bowl. Fortunately, I've really only...